Hi, I'm Deborah Danielson, and Danielson Financial Group is extremely proud to present this, our first award-winning vintage. This wine was carefully crafted by my team, especially for you, and we hope you enjoy drinking it as much as we enjoyed making it for you. We met Charlie Peters, owner of Grape Expectations, and sampled wines from prior vintages and took a tour of his facility. We discussed about 10 different varietals and which varietal or blend of several varietals we would make. We decided on a Zinfandel with a 20% Cabernet Sauvignon back for our wine. We then scheduled dates for the various steps of the winemaking process. This whole experience is very interactive. You don't just order the grapes and wait for your wine, you actually participate in every step and make your own wine. Charlie ordered the grapes from the Sassoon Valley, just east of Napa Valley, so that we got the best grapes for the wine we wanted to produce. The vines are almost 140 years old, which can add intense flavors. Charlie gave us 3 weeks in October 2009 that tentatively the grapes would be harvested so we could mark our calendar. Just like a baby, we had a due date, but not one you could etch in stone. Not only do we have some great financial minds at Danielson Financial Group, we also have some very creative ones. The label that you see on the bottle was designed and created by this team. This took many months of trial and error and voting on design, color, words, and borders to achieve what we believe to be the ultimate wine label for the wine created especially for you. I had been pondering what to name the wine when I thought, we live in Sin City, so why not call it Zin City Zin? The whole team loved it, so our new baby had a name. We got a call a few days prior that our grapes were being harvested and would be coming down on a refrigerated truck, and the crush would be October 26, 2009 when they arrived. Believe it or not, it takes 800 pounds of grapes to make 1 barrel of wine, and we made 2. Do you have any idea how many grapes that is? When the grapes arrive, they're packed in individual 36-pound baskets. Believe me, they're heavier than they look. After quick instructions on how the crusher destemmer works, Alan, David, Lindsay, Lynn, Annette, Carrie, Mike, Linda, Robert, and myself formed an assembly line and picked up a 36-pound basket and dumped it into the crusher. I am not sure exactly how this machine differentiates between grapes and stems, but however it works, the stems are spit out the back of the machine on the floor, and the grapes are gently crushed into the wine must, which is the pulpy mixture, and is pumped into the fermentation tub. Once all the grapes are crushed, we test the sugar level, which is called the Brix, with a refractometer. That's the tool you see me looking through. I read the Brix level at 25, which means our wine should have an alcohol by volume of about 14.5%. We then mix into solution and add the yeast, vitamins, tartaric acid for the correct balance of pH, sulfites, acid, and Brix to begin the fermentation. The yeast consumes the grape's sugar and converts it to alcohol and carbon dioxide. Each grape variety has its own identifiable characteristics. However, it's the winemaker who creates the style and personality of the finished wine. It combines the process of fermentation with the creativity of the winemaker. The fermentation process starts when the yeast is added to the grape juice. Now the must sits in the fermentation tub for 7 days. During those 7 days, Danielson Financial Group's team members and Grape Expectations staff visit the tubs 5 to 10 times a day to plunge the grapes until fermentation process is complete. Plunging, for those of you who don't know, which I expect most of you don't, is gently pushing the cap, which are the skins that have floated to the top, back into the juice. The deep, beautiful color of red wine is from the skins fermenting in the juice. As you can see, busy plunging were Annette, Helen, my husband Robert, and myself. Now it is time to pump the must, or the juice, from the fermentation tub into a 53-gallon oak barrels where it will age for approximately 6 months. However, just before we start that process, we prepare for a secondary fermentation called malolactic by adding designer yeast. The benefit of a secondary fermentation is that it reduces the amount of total acidity and causes a mellowing of the tartness in the wine. To get the juice out of the tubs and into the barrels, Mike, Linda, David, and I took turns with 3 wire mesh baskets and pressed them into the tub to separate the grape skins from the juice. Then Linda took a vacuum hose and pumped the liquid out of the basket and into the oak barrel. This process continues until all of the liquid is removed from the fermentation tub. The remaining skins left in the fermentation tub are then dumped into an old-fashioned Italian press by scooping them out with our baskets. Once the tub was empty, Larry, our trusty Grape Expectations guide, set up the press for us. Linda and I took turns ratcheting down the press to squeeze out the juice from the grapes. All that juice, which is now young wine, goes into the oak barrels. The barrels get filled to about 2 inches from the top. Annette checks for the exact depth the old-fashioned way. She puts her finger into the bunghole and waits until she feels the wine. The excess juice goes into a stainless steel tank that'll be later used for topping off the barrel after racking. What we're left with is a large cake of pressed grape skins that are cut in slices like a cake to reduce the weight, and then dumped into a very large disposal bin that can be later used for animal feed or composting. Approximately 3 months later, we come back for the racking process. You can see me checking out the bouquet of our wine. During the process, the wine is pumped out of the oak barrels and into stainless steel tanks. As our wine is pumped out of the barrel and into these tanks, Lindsay, Alan, Carrie, and David each take turns aerating the wine by closing off part of the hose opening with their finger and spraying it into the tank. Once empty, the barrel is turned upside down and the lees, which is the sediment, is washed from the barrel by shooting clean water into the bunghole opening. The wine is then pumped back into the clean barrel. The barrel is topped off using the excess wine that we had from our pressing process. 1 month later, the entire process is repeated. The barrels are now put back on the storage racks where they will sit for another 3 months. Mike made sure we were doing it correctly. Sure. Finally, after 7 months, our labor of love is ready to be bottled. It is not ready to drink, however. We'll need to age for at least another 6 months in cool storage. Aging allows oxygen to enter and water and alcohol to escape. The acidity decreases, clarification takes place, and the components of the wine form compounds to enhance the flavor and the aroma. The oak from the barrel also contributes to the flavor. But right now we need to get the wine into the bottles. Grape Expectations uses a gravity system for filling, so the wine is taken out of the oak barrels and put into large stainless steel tanks and put on a second floor platform. Tubing is attached from the tank to the filter, which has 20 filter plates that sterilize the wine, clears it, and clarifies it. The wine is pumped from the filter into the gravity filler. The filler machine has 8 filler tubes with auto shutoff sensors. Sterile bottles are placed on the filler tube and the wine flows from the reservoir into the bottle. When the bottle is full, the wine stops flowing and you can remove the bottle and put another one on. The bottle is passed then over to the corking station. This is a manual corker where the bottle is placed on the bottom, the cork on the top. You press down on the lever and the bottle is now corked. Now the bottle is passed over to the protective foil station, where a protective foil cap is placed on the bottle and heat shrunk for proper sealing. Of course we chose green foil caps embossed with grapes. Would you have expected anything else? Now we just need to apply the front and back labels. As you can see, labeling was no easy task and very time-consuming. In fact, so time-consuming, we didn't even finish it the same night, so we brought the bottles back to the office and finished the labeling over the next few days. Annette, Susie, and Alan's wife, Julie, are now expert labelers. When all the wine was labeled, we carted all the cases of wine off to a cool 55-degree storage locker, where it continued to age until we pulled it out in December to begin packaging it for you. The big night finally arrived as our team gathered at the World Market Center with 600 plus other attendees to see who would win the wine awards and to enjoy dinner. 375 wines had been entered into the competition, and there was a Vino Meritus, bronze, silver, and gold in each of 6 categories, and a best of show for the overall winner. The categories of judging were Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Bordeaux blends, Italian blends, whites, and Zinfandels. There was also an award for the best label. I thought we had a great chance for our label and a fighting chance in the competition of the wines. One thing I knew for sure, if we didn't enter, we couldn't win. Well, we did not win an award for the label, but I'm ecstatic to tell you that you will be drinking the 2009 Zinfandel Vino Meritus award-winning wine, as it was Zin City Zin. What an amazing feat for a first-time winemaker, and for me, it was a dream come true. My team was so jazzed as I went up to accept my trophy. We did it! Would you have expected anything else? Well, 16 months later, we're happy to deliver our labor of love to you, Zin City Zin. This took longer than having a baby. We hope you enjoyed drinking this wine as much as we enjoyed making it for you. This was a hands-on experience of great teamwork that created memories shared by my staff and their families that will last a lifetime, and of whom I am so proud. Salute.
Salute.
It's nice that the fruits of our labor go to the clients and show them how much we appreciate them.
I never really thought about what it takes to make wine, never just drank the wine and enjoyed it, and so seeing the actual crushing the grapes and all the different equipment they use, and then de-stemming and just everything was just new, and it was really interesting.
I think the best part was just hanging out with everyone in the office and just drinking wine, making wine. Pretty much just hanging out with the team.
It was hard work. The first day that we went over and the grapes had come in and we had to lift the big pallets of grapes in, it was like, this is a lot of work to get this in, and we did 2 barrels, so there was a lot of grapes to get crushed and put in, so it was a real good team building experience.
The whole process, seeing that I had never experienced any winemaking or heard too much about it, just the whole process was really unexpected and really interesting, and just a lot of fun. Very, very informative. You know, you just learned a lot as you went along.
It turned out really well.
The worst part for me was putting on labels straight. It's very difficult. The bottle's round and it wants to move, but we finally got kind of a knack going and it worked out pretty well. And we were proud because it was our label, so we worked a little bit harder to make sure they were extra good.
The whole science behind it's completely different than what I thought it would be. So it was just interesting, the whole process.
We jumped into the barrel barefooted and crushed those grapes. Not really.
The whole process was really interesting, but I think when we came to the pressing of the skins and cutting the cake and shoveling it out, it was a lot of fun. It was a real interactive, hard work. You wouldn't have expected it to be so hard, but it was really a lot of fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.